Welcome to the Real Estate Leading Edge podcast, where every week we interview a top producing agent who will share with you exactly how to grow your business and live the life of your dreams. Hey there, Chadi Bazzi here, and welcome to the Real Estate Leading Edge podcast. Today is episode number 1, and we'll begin by introducing you to your host, of course, me, Chadi Bazzi. We got Sherri Saad, who's going to be hosting this with us every single week. And we got Mr. Amazing Robert Kabbani, who will also be bringing you the goodies every single week. So we'll begin by saying that, we wanted to produce this brand new podcast for the simple reason of, sharing with you on a weekly basis exactly, what are the latest insights, what are the latest strategies, what are the skills, what are the systems, lead generation systems, and everything that you need, whether you're a veteran and or a newbie in real estate, so you can take your business to the next level. And I couldn't have chosen any better host or amazing people in the industry than Sherri and Robert. And I'm very honored to be sitting right here between two real estate giants. So for you, our audience, you definitely want to be tuning in every single week as we give you the best of the best. So I think a great beginning would be for, let's say, Sherri to introduce yourself. You are the broker owner of RE/MAX Leading Edge here in Dearborn Heights, Michigan.
Yes, we have currently 3 locations, Dearborn Heights, Detroit, and Canton. And we're very honored to have you here and be our host also.
Thank you.
Welcome to Dearborn, Michigan.
My pleasure. And before we go to Robert, can you tell us how long you've been selling real estate?
I've been selling real estate for 18 years. 18 years and counting. There's no chance of me retiring anytime soon. I love what I do. I love being the broker owner. I love mentoring agents. I love also mentoring them to be number one. Each agent in our office is outstanding, and we want to continue that and giving them the tools and resources. And that's why we're doing this podcast, so that way we can share our resources and our tools with other agents across the United States.
We're definitely going to be doing that week in and week out. And, one of the main reasons why I'm so excited to, be a part of this is because what I'm noticing, some of the things that are happening here or some of the things that are not happening with a lot of offices that I work with from across the country is that you have a lot of people that come here and they're newer in the business, and like literally within 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, they're doing 100 transactions a year, which is like unheard of in many different marketplaces. So we'll come back to you. We'll share a little bit more about that as we go straight to Mr. Robert Kabbani. Mr. Kabbani, introduce yourself.
I'm Robert Kabbani. I'm an associate broker here at RE/MAX. Been in the business 14 years.
Okay, so 14 years in the real estate business. Mm-hmm. Awesome. All right, and let's just throw some numbers out there. What is your transaction closed goal this year? Like, how many transactions would you end up with this year in 2019?
This year I'll do 120.
So you'll do 120 transactions this year. So that's about 10 transactions every single month.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay. That's a good number.
Yes, but let's see if he can top the broker here.
Oh,
our broker does 300 to 400 transactions a year.
So
how many transactions will you do this year?
My goal is 500. In 2017, I closed 441 transactions. In 2018, I kind of slipped a little bit. I did 397.
Wow. Okay, so basically in the last 2 years, she's done, if we run the math correctly on this, over 800 transactions in the last 2 years, which is like a 20-year real estate career for most agents.
It's by far more than anybody that I've ever heard of without having a team of buyer's agents.
Yes.
So you're right, because you don't have a whole large team.
Exactly.
It's all about the structure and the foundation of the process.
So the structure, the foundation of the process, having the right systems in place. Mm-hmm. So now I'm going to ask him the question because he's been around you a lot longer than I've been around you. What's it like to be around someone this amazing?
Sherri is amazing.
Be nice.
Sherri's amazing. She works hard. She's here every day. She takes good care of her clients. She really cares about the brokerage. Yeah. And I think that also bleeds into all of the transactions that she does. I think that's why her customers love her, and that's why they keep working with her.
Thank you, Robert.
Love
Thank
it.
you.
So, a lot of times when a person really talks about themselves, they're just talking about themselves. But when somebody else says something about you, that's when it's really authentic and it's really meaningful. So, rather than somebody saying, this is how great I am, the impact really comes when someone like literally feels that. And, one of the things that Robert just said right now is that she really cares about the brokerage. Okay, we don't want to make this like into a commercial about the brokerage or anything like that.
No.
It's just, in my opinion, my mentors, and I've been mentored with some of the greatest minds in the industry. They always said, if you want to become successful, find someone who's already done everything that you're trying to do and model them. What's one thing you've taken away from just being in the presence of a mega superstar?
One thing I've taken from being in her presence is to just basically work the transactions. Don't even get hung up on the numbers. Just work transaction after transaction. I think one of the biggest things Sherri has is that she doesn't. I don't think 396 transactions is a big deal to her.
No.
Whereas somebody else is like, oh, let me do 100. That'll be great.
Yeah.
Sherri's like, why? I'll do 400.
Yeah.
So I think just that big thinking is what it is.
Yeah. And you know what? There's no dollar value on any of the transactions. We treat a transaction, no matter if it's $1,000 or $1 million, we treat every customer the same. Every client the
Good.
same.
So, it's all about relationships, and it's all about like literally taking care of the people in your community, regardless of the price
100%.
point.
100%.
Right. Now, you and I have known each other for how long?
About 8 years.
8 years.
Mhm.
Wow, it's been 8 years. All right, perfect. Okay. So obviously I know more about you, and I know your beginnings, and all the steps of the ladder that we had to climb, and all that good stuff. If we rewind back a little bit, because some people who are watching this podcast can't really fathom the idea of doing 400 transactions, let alone 100 transactions, etc. But that's their ambition. They want to get to that level, and you wanted to get to that level, but you had to start somewhere. So
Right.
Let's speak to that person that's maybe doing 10, 15, 20 deals a year. They want to get to 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, etc. What are like the one or two things that you would give as a piece of advice to someone that wants to, one day do what you're doing?
Go to the next level. So basically, number one, it's going to come to believing in yourself. Believe that you can accomplish it, and actually, and really establish that belief in yourself, and create a vision for what you want your life to look like in the time frame that you're going to work towards, whatever plan you're going to put together. And
Before we go to number two,
yeah,
Okay.
You scared me, Chadi.
no, seriously, I think you really hit the nail on the head.
Yes,
I,
absolutely, he did. Yes.
because I've been on over 25,000, almost 30,000 one-on-one coaching calls now in the last 20 years, and I get to talk to a lot of people, and a lot of times people are just looking for someone that would believe in them, okay, because they have a hard time believing in themselves. And no matter how much, part of the beginning of the foundation is to be in the presence of someone who believes in you, so they can push you and support you and help you grow. But when they begin to believe in themselves, and that's where the quantum leaps happen.
definitely.
So when you and I began working with each other many years ago, did you have the belief system that you have right now?
Absolutely not.
Okay. So let's give a tip or two, because there's people out there that say, I want to believe in me. I want to believe in me. Where do they begin to acquire that belief system? Where should they begin?
Well, first of all, one way to do it is to just look around at people in the world. I mean, we have more access to information than we ever have.
We do.
Yes.
And so you can just Google different people and see all kinds of people that have done it. They say if someone's done it, then you can do it.
Yeah.
So there's no reason why someone can do it and you can't. So just establishing the belief through, first of all, there's proof out there that it's doable.
Good. So what you're saying is some people need evidence.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
And the evidence is available through Google, through a podcast like the Real Estate Leading Edge podcast, and other people in your marketplace. So first of all, see if it's possible, is someone doing it. So there's evidence that someone else can do it. Now you can do it, and now that they've seen that someone else can do it, they got to believe that they can do it. What should they do? Like, what are some of the things that maybe you've done on a daily basis?
I mean, I'll talk about when I first met with you.
Okay.
Because that was mind warping.
Yeah.
When I first met with Chadi, and I found out, first of all, that I had to create a vision.
Yeah.
He had me create a vision, put some goals down on paper, actually visualize myself achieving it, waking up on a daily basis and actually connecting to that vision, and just filling my head with positive thoughts, cutting out television. Like, there were certain things that I did to just make myself someone who can become successful and can believe in myself.
Yeah.
And I started modeling people who actually were achieving that. And the more I did that, the more I became different. And the more I became closer to the people who could achieve those goals. So I actually started to see some proof in myself that it's possible for me. It was very mind warping when we first got together because it was so different for me.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing, a lot of people, they want to change, but they don't want to, they don't want to change their habits, but they want to change their life.
Yes.
Yeah, and there's so many beliefs that we all have. Like, for example, when I first got with you, the word salesman was a bad word to me.
Yes.
Like, I had it took me a while to get over the fact that I am a salesperson, that I actually, that's actually a positive word. So, like, when I first got with Chadi, salesperson was like a golden word. So I had to there were so many little beliefs that I had to shift around so that way I can realize that I'm someone that can accomplish it.
Yeah. Yeah. So Robert is talking about, you got to develop, but I heard something else in what he's saying, and maybe our audience picked up on it. He's talking about, seeing the evidence. He's talking about, like, literally, and modeling other people, but you also said networking. So would you say that you are now, other people in the office, other people outside the office, a combination of that you either hang out with or talk to on a constant basis? Is that
the most powerful thing by far, hands down, is being around people who think bigger and want to do bigger things and have done bigger things. It just shows you what you can accomplish. And it's the positive energy that you're looking for.
Yeah.
Yes.
And, I think, you're also a great networker
Yes,
because,
absolutely.
we met, through,
Mutual friends.
Mutual friends.
Yes. From
that-
California.
From, that you're
Yeah.
connected with from all over the country.
Mhm.
How important is it to connect with people?
You know what? That's one thing in any kind of business is always to network with, people all over the country. Talk to them. I mean, just if one conversation, if you can take one little thing from that conversation and implement it in your daily life or in your business, it's always good to just pick up the phone and say, you know what, or follow up with an email. It was so nice to meet you. Let's stay connected, and you can feed and bounce off of each other.
Absolutely.
Right, and I think intention is also everything because a lot of times people they think network is all about like using each other.
No, absolutely
Okay.
not.
It's not really about using each other. It's about like literally building a relationship, and that relationship develops into like, well, hey, have you thought about doing this in your business? Or, here's what I
Yes.
tried and here's what worked. You know what I mean?
Right. You're contributing to each other.
Yeah.
And what works in their market might not work in your market, but you could take it and use it, with a different spin and implement it
Yeah.
in your areas.
Awesome. All right. So, anything you want to say about belief? Robert kind of touched very good in bringing up the topic about belief, etc. Anything you want to say about like belief and how important it is for one to believe in themselves?
Absolutely. I mean, never, never underestimate yourself. Always reach for, higher goals and always write your goals and stare at your goals every single day and every single year. Just kick it up a notch and write something else. And that's why I'm doing 500 because I have never reached that. I was close, but haven't ever done that. So that's,
That's your next.
Next-
that's the
next-
place.
yes.
That's the next level for
Yes.
you. Have you ever, I mean, I'm sure that over the course of your career of how many years again?
18 years.
18 years in the business. Have you ever like doubted that you
Never.
can do something?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I never doubted myself. And one thing about me is I didn't climb to the ladder from one step and jumped. I took baby steps. Once you take baby steps, then you're ready for the next level. It's time. It takes time. It's not an overnight thing.
You're good. Well, you're equipped with a different kind of DNA because most people that we talk to doubt themselves on a regular basis.
Absolutely.
So, you
Then they're surrounding themselves with the wrong people.
bingo. So until somebody begins to surround themselves with the right people,
Mhm.
okay, they're going to experience self-doubt.
Yes.
And I'm sure you experience that with people that you meet every once in a while. And you'll be like, well, no, you can freaking damn do this.
Yes.
And they're like, well, no, I don't know if I can.
Yeah, well, then that's when you got to step in and be a mentor and hold their hand and, let them know that, this is the way to do it. If you need help, our office here, we have great leaders and great mentors that they can go to and they're able to, help them. And also discipline is a key to success also. So you have to discipline yourself. And if you're not able to discipline yourself, then that's when mentors come in and they're able to keep you on track and keep track of your, where you're heading to, and they're able to help you reset also.
I'm really loving this conversation because I really did not know exactly what it is that we're going to speak about. Because, when we got together, you're like, what is the topic, right?
Yes.
And I'm like, the topic is authenticity and just, sharing freely. And look, everything's coming up. Just by a couple of questions, we're already talking about like the belief system. And Robert's sharing with us, how do you develop that belief system? We're talking about the network. And now, it's you're talking about discipline, and
Yes.
we're talking about mentorship.
Yes.
How important is mentorship? I know, you've mentored with
Yeah.
me, you mentored with some of the other big names in the industry and all this stuff. How important is mentorship?
It's extremely important. It's there's only so far you can go based with the knowledge base that you have from the parents that raised you and in the neighborhood that you grew up in. If you want to go further, you have to hook up with people like mentors who know the business, that can help you through a lot of the pitfalls that people fall into, because growing anything is emotional.
Yeah.
And it can get you down, and if you don't have someone to kind of help you through it, people quit. This is why people quit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So mentorship is huge. It takes away the edge. There's actually a study that, the Rubik's Cube.
Yeah.
So if you were blindfolded and you tried to do a Rubik's Cube, it could take you over 1 billion years or something. However, if you just had a coach who just told you when to turn in what direction, it could take you like less than 2 minutes.
Wow.
That's
So-
good to know.
I'm
Yeah.
signing up.
Yeah.
Well, it's just somebody to tell you when to turn left, when to turn right, when to stop, when to go forward.
Yeah.
That is priceless.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you being at the level that you're at, you've had mentors along the way?
Yes, I have. I've had all kinds of mentors. I've had some mentally, some that have to do real estate related, some to actually get the inner demons out. I had one mentor that described that we all wear 3 faces, and to take off the 3 masks and combine them into one, so that way you're living that one straightforward face and not
Authentic
Yeah.
and not having the 3 masks on. So I was able to disconnect from all my fears and just have that one mask on 24/7.
Awesome. Okay, so mentorship is huge. And I think there's a lot of people out there that want mentorship, okay, but can't afford mentorship.
It's all around you.
Exactly.
It's
So
all
now you got to go around and ask people around you. Ask
Yeah.
for help.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, you being a top producer yourself, I'm sure there's other people here in the office that, come to you and say, hey, Robert, can you help me with this? Hey, Robert, can you help me with that?
All the time.
Do you help them or do you push them away?
Absolutely.
Oh, Robert's
Absolutely.
a leader here at this office.
And,
Okay.
And there's nothing. Nothing makes you feel better than to be able to tell somebody how to overcome a challenge.
Yeah.
Especially when you've overcome it. Especially because of the way it feels when you're trying to get through a challenge and
Right.
can't overcome it. You feel lost. You feel weak. But when you finally overcome it, and then you can help someone else through it, it's an excellent feeling. And all of the top producers I've ever dealt with, who were willing to help, they were willing to help me the same way.
Right. So one of the reasons I wanted to bring up, that point right there is because a lot of people are like literally afraid to ask for help.
They should
Okay.
be.
And they're thinking that, someone at the top is like literally going to blow them off or not paying attention to them or anything like that. And I'll tell you, that may exist in some marketplaces or in some offices. And if that is the experience that you're having, then you're in the wrong place. And you just need to move to the left or move to the right and go somewhere else and seek that out. Because most of the people that I'm connected to,
They're open.
they're
Yeah,
open.
But this is the reason also too for this podcast, so that you can reach out to us and we're
Yeah.
able to also help you.
Absolutely. So look, talking about that, there's going to be people who are watching this from all over the country and all over the world.
Yes.
So if someone is in a different marketplace, different part of the world, reach out. We will support you somehow, some way. And if someone is local,
Reach out too. We're here.
so
Come
it
visit
doesn't
us.
matter where you're at, come by, visit us. Maybe we'll have you on the show, etc. Okay, so in climbing the ladder and taking your business to the next level, okay, there are certain things that you need to have in place, and one of them is the foundation. Everyone needs a foundation, because to go from whatever production you're at to adding another 20, 30, 40 deals on top of that, if you don't have that foundation in place, it's going to collapse.
Yes.
Okay.
Fast.
So if that's the case, I believe that the foundation, the most important part of the foundation is this. It's this. Okay? It's your mind. If you ain't got your mind right, you ain't gonna get your business right. So when you're dealing with 400 or 500 people a year, and you're dealing with 120 people a year, you have personality A, you have personality B, you have the lenders, you have the title, you have the legal system, you have inspections, you have everything that's trying to pull you in this direction and that direction, and you're trying to go to this direction. How do you keep your mind in order, bro?
I mean, you get better and better at it. But the bottom line is, it takes patience.
Yeah.
You have to keep your mind focused on what you're trying to accomplish.
How does Robert focus? I want to know, how does Robert get in the zone? Like, you're about to get on the phones, you're going to do prospecting, you're going to, talk to buyers and sellers, etc. How do you get yourself in the zone? You specifically.
I read my goals.
You review your goals.
I might listen to something motivational.
Okay.
And I just start, and I role play.
Okay, good.
Which gets me talking, which gets me practicing a little bit, and then I start making phone calls, and I feel better and better and better as I go through it.
Good. So basically, you don't just think your way into it; you act your way.
You have to act your way into it. You can't do anything just in the mind. You have to have the mindset, but then you have to take action to get you going forward.
Good. What are some of the things that you did earlier on in your career to really begin to adopt the mindset of I can do 100 plus transactions a year?
Well,
you talked earlier about
for example, having a vision.
A vision. What do you mean by a vision? Somebody out there is going to be like, "What is a vision?"
Vision.
So a vision, for example, I wrote down kind of how many transactions I wanted to do, what kind of money I wanted to make, what I wanted to buy, where I wanted to live, what kind of family life I wanted, how I wanted my children to grow up. A lot of it revolved around finances, but we also, we did our vision based on spirituality and fitness, and so
relationships, community, contribution,
contribution, community. So I built a vision around all these items, and a lot of it that I wrote down, for example, 2012, and a lot of them were really big, and I actually accomplished them.
Yeah.
But by having that vision every single day, reading it, and remembering to commit myself to it, because sometimes, like I said, you can get lazy, you can fall off, but if you stay committed by reading the vision, for example, surrounding yourself with the right people, you'll feel better, and you'll do it. You'll go forward. Okay, so I got a question for you, because I've seen you go through this journey. Okay, when you first were introduced to that, did you buy into it right away, or was it like woo-woo stuff for you? honestly, I was to the point where I knew what I knew wasn't working. Yeah. And so this was like, and when I first was exposed to you, Chadi, I could feel the power. Yeah. Honestly, man. Yeah. So I just took it blind faith. Yeah. And you actually had me reading a book called What a Millionaire Would Do. Actually,
What Would a Millionaire? That is such an awesome program.
Yeah. Yes. It was an unbelievable program. But, so when I started getting kind of hearing what those guys are about, but I'm not going to say that there wasn't resistance. There was times I'd wake up in the morning, I'd say, I don't give a shit what a millionaire. But the fear of the fear of not accomplishing the goal, or not doing what I wanted to, do, was greater than the fear of going forward.
Yeah. Oh, totally. I love how you said that. There's many mornings where I woke up and said, I don't give up. Don't beep that out. What a millionaire would do. Yeah. How'd you push through that?
Yes.
You push through it because,
Did you push through it every single time, or did you have to forgive yourself sometimes?
You have to forgive yourself sometimes. You're definitely not going to get it perfect, but it's by continually going forward and continually putting in the effort. Yeah. And you grow. It's like a muscle. It grows. Yeah. Your discipline grows, your commitment grows. Yeah. And the belief grows. That's the other thing that we've been talking about. Yeah. So have the belief up front and start to attain the belief, but then the belief really starts to grow on you. You actually start believing that you can do this, and then the sky's the limit.
Absolutely.
My goals are way bigger than they were before.
Yeah.
Like I want to do 100 transactions this year, but I want to do much bigger things in my career.
Yeah. For sure. For sure. What do you got to say about the vision?
The vision.
Like, did you like a long time ago see yourself as your number one?
I was number one in the country for Remax closed transactions in 2015 and 16 and 17.
Okay. Did you ever see yourself lovable
Never.
for the whole time?
Never. I was blown away. Honestly, I really was. I didn't think that I could accomplish that. But then, it was real, and I had to take that back. I had to take a moment and process it and absorb it and let it all out. I mean, I got emotional at sometimes, honestly, because I didn't believe in myself I could do that, especially a female.
Yeah.
Also, but I did it and I accomplished it. So.
And you're gonna do it again?
Oh, I'm gonna come back for the title this year.
Yeah,
so we'll find out. We'll find out. Come into
watch
February.
this. So the whole entire country, the whole entire world, all our audience, you know what they're gonna do?
Yeah,
they're gonna connect with you on social media, and they're gonna watch this journey, and they're gonna number one hold you accountable, and number two they're gonna cheer you on, and then we're all gonna celebrate together at the end of the year by claiming that number one spot. That is awesome. All right, so Robert, we talked about mindset. Okay. So someone out there can get motivated, they can get inspired, they want to go out there, they want to take action, and then people tell them, hey, pick up the phone, call on a for sale by owner, call on an expired. Those are people that want to sell. Okay. And then they pick up the phone, and then the expired yells at them for calling, and a for sale by owner gives them like a crazy objection. Most people, you know what they're going to do? Sherri, you know what they're going to do?
They're going to quit.
They're going to quit.
Yes, they're going to get intimidated and quit.
Okay. So, number one, regardless of how strong this is, there's another muscle you got to build.
Yes.
Okay. And that muscle is what's going to come out of your mouth.
Your skills.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Can we talk about that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The next thing that's really important is to definitely practice your dialogues.
Yeah.
Practice your skills. There's nothing like being able to overcome somebody's resistance at the right time.
Yeah.
And sometimes you are listening to a seller or a buyer and you know that you have better advice for them, but you can't communicate it. And if you can't communicate it,
they're not gonna get it.
The sale.
Yeah.
It goes to somebody who can communicate it, unless that buyer or seller's motivation becomes so high that they finally do something with just whoever.
Right. Would you consider yourself to be a great salesperson?
I'm a work in progress.
No, Robert is an
I'm good, but my standards are
outstanding
super high.
salesperson.
Yeah.
Trust
My
me.
standards
He
are
does,
super
he
high.
does have like very super high standards.
Yeah,
Like he
yes.
really does. Like I'm like, Robert, you're there. He's like, yeah, but there's another level. I'm like, well, let's enjoy
No,
this level.
I guess I could say yes. I'm a great salesperson.
Absolutely, you are.
Definitely.
You're an
Absolutely.
outstanding salesperson, Robert.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how important is it to become a good? You got a lot of sales experience.
Yes, I've actually been in sales since I was 18 years old. So I do come up from a family of background of sales. So it was
Okay.
like I grew up in sales. So my passion and vision is a little bit different than Robert's. Mine actually came from hustling, where Robert had to prospect and build his business, where I farmed a community, an area, and it's a little bit different than cold calling and that. So I farmed a market, and I became very involved in the community, and it comes from sales. Your sales skills and your training and your classes. Customer service is the key to the success for any salesperson.
That's a sales skill in
Yes.
itself.
Yes.
The better you can sell somebody on a possibility, not
Yes.
sell them on a product or a
Yes.
service, just on a possibility of what is better for them.
Mhm.
The more of an impact, the more contribution you make, the more you get
Yes.
rewarded. And yes, that's another thing I want to mention is, look, there's more than one way to generate business. There's people, here in our office that are, closing over 100 transactions.
Mhm.
They'll never pick up the phone.
No.
Good for them. We'll
Yes.
support them in another way,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And then there's people that absolutely love the phone and they want to develop that skill set, and we, help them develop that skill set, and we help them take it to the next level.
But the key is
Yeah.
customer service, and the client is always right.
You know what? And there should be the most important thing.
Right.
Absolutely,
Yes.
because without that client,
Yes.
what good is we?
No.
We is no good.
No.
See how important it is to use the right words? We is no good, right?
You always keep the commotion and the problems and issues behind closed doors in front of the client. You always have that smile, and you're always there to greet them
Yeah.
and to
Right. Help them
serve
solve
them.
their problems.
Yes.
It's about them, not us.
Yes.
Absolutely. So let's stay on the topic of salesmanship.
See how I like throw you a question and then I come back with a new topic?
Yeah, spin it. Absolutely. So spin selling is another, no. All right. So talking about, salesmanship, etc. So, there's the skill of obviously, a listing presentation skill. Because, our audience, the majority of our audience is real estate agents. And, the common theme in conversations revolve around listing presentation. It revolves around objection handling. It revolves around pre-qualifying, etc. Where should someone begin? Like, where should they begin, training on? What is the first step?
To begin training?
Yeah, like training on what? The listing presentation, the pre-qualifying, objection handling. What do you think?
100%. It's all important, right?
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
it depends.
It's all connected.
It depends first if a realtor is going into this business to become a listing agent or buyer's agent. So I would, start with where do they want to specialize in the selling as a listing agent or a buyer's agent, and that would dictate what training they should start taking.
Good.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's a very, very, very good idea. So I think every person is most likely going to begin at a different place depending where they are in their business. Number one, their experience. Number two, their clientele. Are they working more buyers? Are they
Yes.
working more sellers, etc. And at the end of the day, regardless of whether they're going to be working with the buyer or the seller, there's a
presentation.
it's going to be the presentation. So it's either a listing presentation or a buyer presentation.
Absolutely.
Okay, because here's the thing: what do? We go out there and generate a lead,
Yes.
and let's say you go out there and generate a buyer lead.
Mm-hmm.
You go out there and generate a seller lead.
Mhm.
The conversation begins.
Right.
The conversation ultimately throughout the whole entire dialogue is a presentation.
Absolutely.
Okay, and if you're having the right conversation, what's going to happen?
Then it's going to lead to a transaction.
And if you have a wrong conversation, what's going to happen?
I'm gonna lose that buyer.
You're going to lose the buyer. So the presentation is critically important.
Right.
So I think one of the things that we should do on this podcast, not today,
Mhm.
but let's just put it out there.
Sure.
I think one of the things that we should do with our audience is, let's have a little bit of fun.
Sure.
Everyone that's watching this and or listening to this podcast that is going to go on iTunes and or Stitcher and leave us a rating and a review, we will go ahead and make sure we give you access to a presentation
Yes, to our listing presentation.
that Robert is going to do, right?
Yes.
Sure.
High five, baby.
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. One of us will give you guys a presentation to help you, develop the right presentation and take your business to the next level. Because at the end of the day, the whole purpose of doing this is to enlighten you and help you, take your business and your life to the next level. And even though I'm speaking like this and it sounds like we're about to finish, we're not. We're going to keep on going.
Oh wow.
Absolutely. Because not every day I get an opportunity to sit with two, leaders. So
Thanks, Chadi.
Thank you.
you're
Sherri.
welcome. So if you have a brand new agent right now, let's talk to the brand new agent for a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, someone that's just starting out in real estate.
Sure.
Where would they begin? What would you tell them to do? What is the first thing they need to do? The second thing or the third?
First thing is to set up their profile.
Set up their profile.
Yes. Set
Okay.
up their profile. Take their profile picture.
Right.
Set up their profile. And do a little bio about themselves, even though that this is the first time, coming into the real estate business, but a little bio about them, their family,
Mm-hmm.
what their vision is also too.
Yeah.
Those are some things. Talk to everybody that you can possibly talk to. Call everyone and say, hey, listen, I'm excited. I'm in the real estate business. Your first, 5-10 transaction come within your family, within your inner
The
sphere.
people on your phone.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So
Okay.
those are leads right there.
And it totally
best
boggles
leads.
me. It totally boggles me that there's a lot of people like, well, I need leads. And I'm like, did you call the people in your phone? Like, no, I don't even think they know I'm in real estate. I'm like, shouldn't they know that you're in real estate?
Yeah.
All right, so create the profile.
Yes.
Start calling everyone
Yes.
in your phone, letting them know that you made a career change,
Mhm.
you're in real estate,
Yes.
etc.
Mhm.
And then create a business plan.
Create a business plan.
Okay.
Absolutely. When I interview agents, I say, please make sure you bring in your business plan.
Yeah. Okay, business plan and get clear on your goals.
Yes.
Exactly.
And your vision.
Okay. I want to talk to you a little bit more about that. Okay. Because again, we go back to the belief, to the belief. When you wrote your vision, did that create clarity for you?
A very crystal clear clarity, yes.
Okay, crystal clarity. Okay. And did that give you more hope for the future?
100%.
Okay. So when you're more clear on what it is that you are wanting and why you want it is when you begin to enter a world of certainty. And that's the world that you absolutely want to live in, because when there is uncertainty, there's what? There's doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And where there is doubt, there's no belief. And if there's no belief, there's fear. And if there's fear, there's no action.
Exactly.
Okay. So every single person we're giving it to you as an assignment is you got to get clear on your why, your goal, your purpose, and your vision. So anything you want to say?
I would say, please establish a schedule.
Yeah.
If you're coming into real estate, establish. Are you going to be at work at 9 a.m., 8 a.m.?
Yeah.
Are you going to work till 5?
Are you taking Sundays off? Are you going to do open houses on Sunday?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because if you have a schedule that you're working by, then you establish your goals. Now you're actually doing a job, because a lot of people in real estate, as we know, come into the business, don't have a schedule, and they kind of just spin around like independent contractors. Yeah. And we see that good month, horrible month, good month, horrible month, or horrible 3 months sometimes.
Yes. Yeah, the roller coaster, right?
Yeah, so establish a schedule.
Okay, so
the key.
So can we give our audience an example of what everybody wants to know what is the schedule of a top, agent look like. Can you give our audience, what your schedule looks like so they can have an idea?
Robert's a little bit
just
intense.
Just to be clear, my schedule is revolving around the goals that I've set, which is something that you taught me, Shay, right? I mean, your schedule should be based on the goals you've set. If you want to close 25 transactions a year, you might not have the same schedule I have. I want to close over 100 transactions a year. So I'm at the office at 7:30 in the morning. I role play for a half an hour, and then I prospect from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m., sometimes 12, calling expireds for sale by owners, calling my center of influence, calling past clients, and then just making cold calls if I have to. And just trying to rake in as many contacts as I can, trying to establish one solid connection for that day to hopefully get set up a listing appointment, at least one a day, or sometimes it might be only 3 a week, but 3 a week ends up being 12 a month, so it's still good. And then after 12, I the days softens up a little bit. That's the morning schedule. That's where, that's what's got to be most regimented depending on your goals again.
Yeah, just like, when we started putting the schedule together, I said to you, Robert, if you could just, have a discipline to do everything, that's in your schedule from the moment, like you literally wake up to the time you break for lunch, you're golden.
Yes.
And then after lunch, what do you do?
After lunch, you can relax a little bit, do some preparation for the appointments that you have set for that evening. And if you don't have an appointment that evening, you could prospect a little bit more.
Yeah.
Or
go enjoy the day, do whatever you want. You've already done the work, right?
Exactly.
So how often do you follow your schedule? Like, honestly.
I follow my schedule about 80% of the time.
Uh-huh.
What day is your cheat day?
Yeah, what day is your cheat day? Everybody's got a cheat day, right?
Yes. Do you feel being in the office, there's now, with the way the real estate is going, is it okay if I take over a little bit, Shay?
Yeah. Let's do it.
With the market and these, like EXP and some virtual realtors, there's concept of a home office. I am a true believer of coming into the office.
Yeah.
Do you feel that you can establish your goals with that many transactions and your mindset and what you have, your vision, being a home agent?
I personally couldn't. No, I feel like we talked about mindset and how important it is. I feel like coming into an office and being in a professional setting, it sets you up to a high level of activity. I mean, if you're at home, you have so many anchors and triggers to get you to relax. You can't see how that could get you to push forward like the way we're talking.
Well, very good question,
Yes,
Sherri.
I got lots more.
All right. Okay. You want to ask, or should I expand on that point? Because I really want to expand on that point because it's critically important, because nothing against any other companies or anything like that. I think at the end of the day, every broker, every company means well for the agent and the community. And there's different models that work for different people, stuff like that. So we support everyone just to put that out there.
It's just a little research that I'm trying to do for myself.
Right. And you know what? And I've done that research, with agents from all over the country that work for, this company or that company and this new multi-level company and all that crazy stuff and everything else in between. And what I found is that you are a product of your environment.
Yes.
You are a product of your environment. So it's critically important to be in an office that is moving in a direction that you want to go to. So if you want to take your business to the next level, you can't work for a company that just says, go figure this out.
We're cloud based.
Or here's a
Exactly.
video online, go figure it out,
Yeah.
or cloud based or anything like that. And it's important for someone to just hold your hand and walk you through the process.
Back to basics, back to traditionals.
Who's gonna hold your hand at home?
It's maybe it's doable. Maybe there's a guy
But some
out
people,
of a million that
yeah,
does
some
it.
people have that
but
DNA
it's
that
gonna
are
be
equipped
rare.
with that, and they'd be able to do it, and we applaud them. We want to be like,
Right.
here, when you figure it out, let us know you did it.
Yeah, but
Kinda thing.
it's going to be very rare.
Yeah,
It's
very
about
good.
mindset.
You
So
want to
yes.
be you want to be exactly what we talked about. You
Yeah.
are definitely a product of your environment, more than we know. We're a product of
Absolutely.
our environment.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. What's your next question?
Oh no, Sherri, it's your
Come
show.
on.
No,
Yeah.
I'll be the host
All
of
right.
next.
How
the
about
second show.
Robert? Since you asked
Oh,
that question
no,
to
go
Robert, how
easier.
about Robert
Let's-
ask you a
Let's
question?
ask
now?
Sherri some questions because
Yeah.
he's been drilling us.
Exactly. Exactamunga.
How do you get in your mindset? How does a mentor get in the mindset?
How do I get in my mindset?
Yes.
Well,
What's your daily activity? I mean, your daily.
Your
okay,
ritual.
so
Yeah.
there are specific things that I do every single day, no matter where I am in the country, etc. And when I'm traveling, it changes a little bit.
Okay.
But what I found is there's like a couple of things that I have to do every single day, and that's what gives me the power that I have.
Mhm.
Okay, and I think for me, the most important thing that I almost never ever miss is daily journaling.
Daily journaling.
Daily journaling. That right there has been like a big foundation of my success. And I have a lot of clients that actually do this every single day.
Mhm.
And because it's done so much for them, they actually now have a fear, but it's a good fear. It's the fear of, if I don't do this,
Mhm.
I'm not going to be able to have the power that I want to have. So daily journaling is number one. Another thing is, continuing to build a relationship, a specific relationship, but nobody really understands what kind of relationship I'm talking about. I'm not talking about a relationship with, the woman I'm dating, and or the relationship with my children, or the relationship with my community, or anything like that. I'm talking about the relationship with the better version of me that is coming soon all the time. Because every time you reach a new level,
Yeah.
there's another level. So you touched up on it a little bit ago, and it's reading my vision every single day. Every single day, I gotta remind myself of why I should work that extra hour, why I should make that extra call, why I should improve my skill set so I can help more people. It's the vision.
Yeah.
So journaling and vision, and there's a third thing that I do at least 5 minutes every single day.
What's that?
Sometimes I do it for 30 minutes, 60 minutes, but at least 5 minutes every single day. It's to read a minimum of 5 minutes every single day. Because when you're reading, what are you doing? If you're reading a positive book, what are you putting in your mind?
You're feeding your subconscious positive
Yes.
thoughts.
Okay, so if I'm, your input determines your output.
Exactly.
So if I'm feeding me positivity,
Yes.
what am I giving to the world?
Positivity.
So that was a very
And
good
that
question.
attracts people, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Chadi. See, that was
Yeah.
easy, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Everything's easy. It wasn't easy a long time ago. It's not going to be easy for every single person that's watching this video and or listening to this podcast. But it's a foundation of where they can begin. Do you want to ask Sherri a question?
I don't have a question in mind
See, there
actually.
you go.
Ah.
Can you tell us a
Sherri,
little? Oh, sorry.
When
Go
you
ahead.
when you hit the 400 transaction
Oh my
mark,
goodness.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yes.
first of all, how did that feel?
Oh my God. Amazing. Amazing.
How did you get there?
How did I get there?
How do you feel you got
I
there?
was determined. I was determined.
So determination,
Absolutely. I was determined to do it, and I did it.
strong.
It was all for the people in the background saying she's not going to be able to do it. She's not doing it, this and that. So when I get negativity, I just keep plugging away, and then my performance speaks for itself, and that's my payback.
So you're like, let me show you.
Yes,
Yeah.
let me show you.
Bring
yes, for all the offers that never got accepted, for the multiple offers that I lost, I wanted to, go back and see why I didn't get accepted. What did I do wrong? And I was able to break through, and that's how I was able to get 400 transactions because my clients believed in me, because I educated myself on the product, on the property, and what would be. My clients come to me and ask me, what should we bid? And I guide them through that step. And I was able to control the transaction, and that's one of the reasons why you're able to do so many transactions, when you have control of the whole entire process.
It reminds me of another trait that a lot of the top agents have, which is competitiveness. And I just kind of, when I'm listening to her right now, I can hear it. It's just competitive.
Oh yeah, I'm very competitive. You have to be.
Yeah.
And that's why I chose to be a broker. I want to spread that on. I wanted to be a mentor.
Right.
Be a leader, and all the agents here at Remax Leading Edge, they have it within themselves, and that's one of the reasons why I want to awaken that giant in them, and be leaders and be mentors within themselves, in the community, with with any aspect of what they're doing in their daily life.
I kind of resonate with what you're saying, and I think that's one of the main reasons why I'm aligned, with Remax Leading Edge, is because one of the core values is to give back. Okay. And we began in the show talking about how most people don't believe that they can do it. Most people don't know how to do it. And because we've done it, a lot of us wish we had someone to show us how to do it way back then, but we had to figure it out ourselves. And we just want to give that to our agents and our community.
Everything was like hush hush, keep your private business together. It's so rewarding to see somebody come into the business and you're able to help them and grow, and just look back and see, the success that they've accomplished.
And
that's amazing, rewarding within itself.
And Robert, would you agree that she's always pushing the envelope?
Always.
Oh yeah, trust me, I pushed Robert a lot.
Yeah, and now what she's actually done is she said, we want to push every single person at a higher level. And what you did is you took a look at the whole entire community, every single brokerage, and you said, what is everybody doing right? How can we do it better? And then you said, what is nobody doing that needs to get done to take it to a whole new level? And that's what we have been focused on.
And this office is just getting better and better and better. The agents are getting better and better. It's been terrific.
Here at Remax Leading Edge, we invest in our agents.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. So anything, any final? Yeah, let's do this. Let's have a little bit of fun. Okay. And I think since this is episode number 1, we should.
No water break, Chadi?
No water break. We should, water break? No water break. Okay. So I think we should end the show every single week by doing 2 things. Okay. And none of you guys are prepared for this. So hopefully you guys can pull this off.
Oh my God.
Number 1 is you're going to share a quote. He's going to share a quote. And I'm going to share a quote. And then number 2, you're going to make a book recommendation. You're going to make a book recommendation. I'm going to make a book recommendation. How's that sound? Who wants to go first?
Go ahead, Chadi.
Go ahead, Chadi.
All right, I'll begin with the quote. Here is a beautiful quote. And the quote is, if it is to be, it is up to me. I want you to think about that every single day.
How about if we just leave it on your quote right now?
Okay. How about if Robert gives us a quote, then we'll come back to you with another quote. Pick one now.
I don't know. There was a quote that I heard a couple days ago from some agent who was making like $3.5 million a year, and he said the big shots have to put up with the highest levels of rejection. And it feels good because you were talking about earlier skill set, because you're going to get hung up on, you're going to get yelled at by for sub owner and expired, but it's also mindset again, because you can't always talk your way through it. Some people are just completely closed.
Yeah.
But if you have a mindset, for example, that it's okay, getting rejected is actually a positive thing, it's getting me closer to where I'm trying to go, then it's actually a benefit.
I love that. And that's another way of saying he or she that digs the most amount of dirt finds the most amount of gold.
Absolutely.
So
mine is very simple. It's very extremely simple, not like these big shots. So I'm sorry.
We're still trying to be a big shot,
like Sherri.
Mine is very simple. Everything is possible.
I love it. Everything is
excellent.
Possible.
Yes.
Awesome. So Robert, what's a book that you've read? Like if you could, if somebody just said, look, I don't want to know about the 100 books you've read. I just want one book that will help me change my life, help me change my business. What's one book that you would recommend? And it better not be the one that I'm going to recommend, because then I have to think.
You know what? I was thinking about this. I mean, I've read so many great books. The one book that I really liked, if we're talking about, honestly, even, I mean, it can help you anyway.
Yeah.
I'd say The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy.
Ooh, that is a good one. The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy is a must read.
It's an unbelievable
Absolutely.
book.
Absolutely. Sherry, what's the book you're going to recommend?
Oh my god. Not the book.
Just one.
Just one. Could it be a love story?
Yeah. It doesn't, if it's going to make someone fall in love. And,
The Power of Now.
The Power of Now is another good book. And the book that I'm going to recommend is the book that I've been recommending for years. And I'm going to keep on recommending it for many, many more years. And it is The Magic of Believing by Claude Bristol. Because everything that we talked about today requires a strong belief system. And until you believe, like I say, when you believe it, you will achieve it. And I think that wraps up episode number 1. High five. High five. That was awesome. Thank you guys for doing this. And for our audience, if you've enjoyed this video and or this podcast, please do us a favor. Spread the love. Share this with, another agent that could benefit from this message. And just leave us a good rating or any rating you want to leave us. We want to earn a good rating and a positive review. And for everyone that's going to leave that inside the first couple of episodes, we're going to do something special for you. We'll reach out to you based on your username and all that good stuff. And we'll do something special for you as a way of saying thank you very much. So with that, it's a wrap. Take care, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's edition of the Real Estate Leading Edge podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with anyone you know who can benefit from the interview. And don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating and a positive review. Thank you and see you next week.